And actually, we need a high-velocity decision. Making a fast decision and it potentially being wrong is better than making a slow decision. So I'm going to share some insights with you, but I think our dysfunction right now as a business society, and I think IT is kind of leading the way here, is we gather knowledge, we forget to do anything with it. The fact that we're even talking about agile still, it's 24 years old. It can vote and drink in every country in the world. And we're like, it might be new. It's not. It's 24 years old. So how do we move from a world of knowledge gathering and knowledge acquisition to a world of application? My example, the lovely Gabs, right? The lovely Booney. They share these stats every single session. It's the same stats because we're not making the change. So all I ask of you, if you do concentrate and you do take any notes or and write anything down, I'd just ask that you write down an action, right? I think you have the keys to your castle. So all I ask is that in today's session, if anything triggers you positively, write down an action of the thing you're going to try. You are management. If you ever feel yourself saying the phrase, my job would be easier if it wasn't for management, you are management, right? It's the same as saying I'm stuck in traffic. You're not stuck in traffic, you are traffic. You are management, so you're the people going to drive the change, write down an action. Now, in chat to the team, there's like a million things I wanted to talk about. We narrowed it down to 3 things that I'm going to talk to you about today. The first one, we've talked about innovation, we've talked about AI a lot today. I just want to take you through a completely non-business example, right? This is the music industry, not a provider of the music industry, but the music industry. We're just going to check the demographic in the room again. Anyone here make a mixtape for someone that they were mildly attracted to? You are definitely happy. If you haven't done that, how are you in a relationship? I don't understand how you must have just been the brave person that spoke to someone. I became, in the 80s, I was a master of mixtapes. Didn't get a girlfriend, but master of mixtapes. Essentially, if you look at the history of music, there's 2 lessons from this, right? This is not a scare tactic. 2 lessons from this. 1, there's not many providers made it from one step to the next. So as a master of mixtapes, I was probably keeping a company by the name of BASF in business. Because I just bought BASF tapes on steroids, made mixtapes, delivered them to every girl that I liked, and didn't get anything in return, right? BASF didn't make CDs, they didn't make mini discs, and they're not in an Apple iPad. They're not in a device today. And so not everyone makes it through. The other thing is the distribution model completely changes, right? We're still consuming music, we still have radio, that still exists. We still have record players, there's probably still tape players around. But the distribution model of music has completely changed. The business model of music has changed. And I think the challenge we have right now is we think about our company in its own nuclear existence without thinking about the broader world that we exist in. If the business world around you changes, your job is to stay relevant. That might mean changing how you operate. Now, last year, I was doing an event. I was doing one with a friend of mine. She used to be the curator of South by, is the curator of South by Southwest. Used to be the curator of TEDx. And she's like, Dom, I want you to come and do a talk. You can't use any existing content you've already used. And I want something powerful and punchy. So I'm old school. I'm 46. I'm a digital immigrant. I started life in the analog world. I've migrated painfully to the digital world. But when I go to customer meetings, I take physical notes. I write stuff down. I find I remember it better than writing anything digitally. So I went through, I've got these stacks of notebooks just full of notes. And in my mind, I'm like, there must be a red thread. There must be something in all these transformation and change programs I'm seeing at banks, at telcos. I even spent a week recently down in Canberra because I love a thankless task. Like every organization I can think of, I'm immersing myself in to go, help me understand the change you're going through. And what I wrote down, we've called the Modern Work Manifesto. I believe this is the lived reality of your experience right now in your business. Some of this will resonate. Some of this might trigger you. Some of this you'll be like, bingo. Like some of this you will feel like a superpower. I'll just walk you through all 8. One of the challenges that business leaders are suffering with right now is the challenge of context over content. We have got shitloads, pardon my French, of content. There's an email with an FYI with a 6-pager attached. And you read it and you're like, what? Like I've read it, but what? Was I meant to do something? Was there an action I should take? I don't feel more informed. I don't feel like, am I meant to make a decision? Should I prioritize this? Should I intervene? Should I leave you alone? Like, there's no actual context.